I'm gonna say a few words before Juan gets us started. First off, thank you guys for coming. This is the first part of our Shep How To series. So this is all just an attempt to get you all prepared for the upcoming career fair in February. I think it's the 12th, which is one of the days. It's today should be the 12th, and I think the 15th. They're both going to be virtual. So we do have a couple events lined up for you guys. This is the first one to get you guys started. This is our resume workshop. We're really going to be going over exactly what is a resume, what you should be putting on it, how you should be wording things, just kind of the best way you should be able to represent yourself on a piece of paper. If you guys need any help after this event, you guys can feel free to email I guess any of us here or just DM us through Discord as well. If you guys are in the Discord, I'll post a link for Discord as well as the chapter sign up membership form. So that way you guys can have access to us and ask us anything post this event. Also, feel free if you guys ever have a question throughout the event. Once Juan stops talking, or you can type in the chat. I'll keep an eye on the chat for Juan, and that way we can get your questions answered as he presents. So Juan, if you want to go ahead, talk about yourself a little bit.
All right, welcome everyone. So I guess I'm the professional development chair here at NJT SHPE, and basically what that entails to is providing you guys with all the professional help in the sense. Hence, I'm doing the workshop for you guys. So yeah, any questions regarding resumes, is anything related to professionalism? I guess first direct them to me before going into any of the board, or if I'm not available or I can't get to you on time, then feel free to reach to anyone on the board. But yeah, let's get started. So before you go and start making a document, start doing anything, you first need a plan, right? You need a blueprint. And we like to call it the blueprint for success, right? And first of all, you need to start with a plan. And the plan really just entails with what's the job you want, right? Uh, we're engineers. Engineers is a really broad thing. I know for mechanicals, you can go into design, you can go into quality, you can go into so many things. For electrical, you can go into power, you can go into microelectronics. There's a whole lot of things out there. And it gets even more specific when you're job hunting, right? Jobs are really specific. You're going to be doing one thing, so it gets really specific. So make sure you have a general knowledge of what the job you want is, right? Then you need to think about the skills and experience needed for such job, right? Let's say mechanical engineers that go into quality, they need to be able to have some business knowledge, focus on quality things, have some quality skills. Let's say a computer engineer that wants to go into the software side, obviously he needs to know a coding language. He needs to know this and that. What are your current skills and experience, and how do they align? This is important because with this you can measure how much you need to learn and what you need to learn to get to the required skills and experience needed for the job you want, right? Next, what key accomplishments of yours align? Let's say you want to pursue your master's. You would like to hunt for a company that helps you get your master's financially. If you want to do research, you can go for a company that has a research division, things like that. Take into consideration resume best practices. Always keep this in mind. What you should have in your resume. What recruiters look for in your resume. All this stuff. I will go deeper into that later on. Next, have flexibility to cater your resume to different jobs. This is really important because even though you're looking for jobs in a general area, there's still a lot of really detailed jobs that vary from one another, right? Let's say for software engineers, you want to be a back-end or front-end developer, right? There's different languages for each of those roles. And if you're going to apply for a back-end position, the recruiter is not going to care what you know about front-end because that's useless for that job. So you should be able to cater your resume to those things. What I do, especially, is I have one resume with all my skills, all my qualities, all my experience, and then I make a new resume whenever I'm applying for a job with specific skills required for that job. That way I tailor it for it. Finally, seek feedback from someone outside your business unit. This is really important because inside your business unit, and I guess our business unit now is students, everyone has bias and not everyone knows everything, right? Speak to speak to graduate students. Speak to professionals. Speak to the people at GDS. Speak to us. You never know what experience someone might have that can be helpful to you. All right. So first of all, what is a resume? Right. Most of you, probably some of you don't know, never made one, don't have one. So I'm gonna help you out. So resume is a summary of your skills, accomplishments, and work history. Everything has to be detailed in there in just one page, right? So it's like your, let's say, kind of like your Facebook profile, Instagram profile. It shows who you are, what you do, what you're good at, etc. So it's a selling tool used to get interviews, right? When you give your resume, you're basically giving your pitch. It's like, hey, here's why you should buy me. Look at all my qualities. So look what I can do. And it's really important because it's the first document they see about you, right? They know nothing about you. You're a complete stranger to them. But with this resume, they know everything they need to know to hire you because everything is highlighted there. Everything is detailed. And it sells your skills versus tell about it, right? So it's a fine line between selling them and telling about it. So you gotta kind of keep it in both because you want to say you're good at something, but you don't want to come off as arrogant and say that you're the best at that because they know you're probably not the best. We're all students. So you should keep it a really good balance. Uh, a resume should have a summary, objective statement that grabs their attention. Let's say you're a sophomore and you want an internship for the 2022 summer. If you put down your objective, I'm a, let's say, computer engineer student looking for a 2022 summer internship. Now the recruiter sees this and they know whether to keep going with you or not. Because here's what happens. Some recruiters are only looking for juniors. Some recruiters are only looking for co-ops. Some recruiters are only looking for full times. So if they read this as your first line, they know whether or not to keep talking to you, and vice versa. That way, you don't waste your time with them, and they don't waste theirs. Finally, you should have examples that incorporate metrics that can be quantitative or qualitative. What I mean by this is just don't write like paragraphs about the job description. Write things that you have accomplished, and this should include numbers to show quantities and qualitatives, right? They want to know what you're good at, and they can know what you're good at based on numbers, and they want to know if you're a good person for work, and those are the qualities, right? If you're punctual, if you're respectful, if you're if you're outgoing, if you're always looking to learn more, all of these things can be learned from your resume. So make sure you include both, right? So a quick question, I guess you can type it on the chat. Uh, why is your resume so important? And I just explained this, so I guess let's get a little participation going. Yeah, I mean that's fine if no one wants to answer. Okay. So yeah, it is the first thing recruiters see. There you go, Mateo. You're right about that. So that's why it's important. All right. So let's enter that into more details. Right. So yeah, it shows what you're offering. You gotta sell yourself exactly. So your resume is important because it should provide recruiters with a glimpse of your qualifications, abilities, experiences, competencies, and communication skills. Right. All of this is important because, like I mentioned, not only are they looking to see if you are a good fit for the job, meaning if you know what you're doing, but they also want to see if they're able to work with you. If they don't like you and if they don't like your work ethic, they won't hire you, no matter if you're the best at what you're doing, right? So, the recruiters and hiring managers are the ones that make these decisions. So if you're not able to basically buy them with your, I guess, charm, they won't they won't hire you, right? You should have snapshots of qualifications. It's basically like snapshots of your qualifications and experiences, and also summarize the skills, like I said, and also gives them a glimpse of your ability to communicate. Because let's say you have SHPE in there, you're a member of SHPE, and you have it on your resume. They know, they already know you have good communication skills because you need to be able to communicate with us or other members, right? You had to talk to us to join, and you talk to people. They know you have somewhat good qualifications since that's what we do. We prepare you. We build these qualifications for you. you see. So just by joining SHPE, you already take down like half of these things. So another question time. How long does a typical recruiter take to consider reviewing a resume? And you might be surprised by the answer. So go ahead and type it on the chat. Let's see. So 1 to 5 seconds. All right. Anyone else? 10 to 20, 1 to 5, 30 to 45. All right, let's see. So it's actually 30 seconds. So I guess Valeria, you were correct. We don't got prices though. So, but yeah, you were correct, right? So if they're interested, then they will spend more time, 3 minutes, an average of 3 minutes and 40 seconds examining your resume. And this is why it's so important to have that initial first look to be good, right? Those first 30 seconds is when you hook them. And then they spend the next 3 minutes really getting to know whether you'll be a good candidate or not. Also, 1 in 5 recruiters will make their minds within 60 seconds, right? Which again goes to show how important it is to have the best of you in that paper. Also, 1 in 5 reject a candidate before reading to the end of the resume. Once again, it shows how important it is to have the best that you can in that paper. So let's break down the resume on what you should have and what you shouldn't have. All right, so I guess first, with objective, like I mentioned before, objective statement gives the reader a quick understanding of who you are and what you're looking for, right? Uh, and this is what I said to basically to find out whether they should even give you those 30 seconds or not. If you're not what they're looking for, then they would just say, "Oh, we're not. You're not what we're looking for," and there's nothing wrong with that. You just move on with your life. But then there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. The right way is to include qualification and skills and talent so you can specify exactly what you're looking for and see if it matches with what they're looking for. So here example is data-driven industrial and systems engineer graduate with well-developed presentation and statistical skills, seeking a position as an entry-level industrial engineer to use Kaizen techniques to continuously improve manufacturing procedures at Wafer Tech. The reason why this is good, it shows who he is, industrial engineer, graduate student. It shows some skills, well-developed presentation and statistical skills, and it also shows what he's looking for, which is at entry level at this company. And he goes one step further, which includes what software he wants to work with, because that's the software he specializes on, or that's what technique, I'm sorry, which is Kaizen. Now let's look at the wrong way. The wrong way will be new industrial engineer graduate looking for a position in industrial engineering, supply chain, management, or data analysis. Even though he specifies who he is and what he's looking for, everything is too vague. He mentions 3 things, right? So he's not choosing one, and it doesn't show that he has a direction. He's lost, and you can get that just by reading his objective. Next, you should have your experience, right? And I'm explaining how to write the experience section. So first, you start with most recent or current job. So it goes from most recent to least recent at the bottom in order, right? Then you follow it with your previous positions and so on until you get to, I guess, when you have no more jobs. Under each job, you should add around 4 to 5 bullet points describing your duties, but most importantly, your achievements. What you did at the job. Why was it meaningful? What you got from it, your achievements. You should quantify whenever as possible, meaning add numbers in there, add everything. You might think something's not important, but it is at the end of the day, right? You should use action verbs. So coordinated, created, reviewed, right? And not things like responsible for coordinating, creating, and reviewing, right? And also at the bottom, you should add a key achievement subsection where you show off your most impressive success. So let's say you worked, let's say, fast food restaurant. I don't know, right? And let's say you detected a problem with the way things are handled, and you talk to your manager, and that solution was implemented, and now you go make things go faster. That's a key achievement, and you should save that for the end at the bottom to show it off. And also, pick phrases from the job ad and refer them in your work experience section, right? So this is where you get your duties from. You won't list everything, but you get some things, right? Whenever you apply for a job, there is like the duty section. Look at that and get some ideas from there. So let's look at examples once again to compare. A right way of doing it will be the left side right here, electrical engineering. That was his position. And then the company, Delta Constructors, the city, and then the state. He also put the day he started, 2014, and present, which is where he's still there. Then comes the bullet points, coordinated the preparation and implementation of executions plans in various work locations, provided guidance, training, and development of the field, electrical and instrumentation personnel, fully trained 20 plus employees, and reviewed and corrected site drawings, redline, and produced hand-drawn field sketches to meet industry standards. So you see some of those included his work duties, but also some of the achievements. He mentions fully trained 20 plus employees and so on. Finally, his key achievement was that he redesigned machine arrangements for improved efficiency, increased production efficiency by 35%. And this is where the numbers coming clutch, like I said. If you just left that first sentence, it wouldn't really show how important it is. But after you say you increased the efficiency by 35%, that's something big. And that's eye-opening for the recruiters. Now, what's the wrong way of doing it? Once again, this person has his title. He has 2013, 2018, and then just the company's name. He has no location whatsoever, no state, nothing. And then his responsibilities, he put producing design drawings, handling of code variances and technical deviations, and creating power systems and area classifications. It's too vague for the recruiters. They will not care because they don't know what you did exactly. It's too vague. It won't interest them. Next up, it goes to the skills section. Like I mentioned, you also got to show off your skills because you're technically selling yourself, right? So you list your relevant skills, which you gain from previous work experiences, from school, personal projects, whatsoever, right? Uh, you should know what your skills are, like when you're writing your resume, because the first step of the blueprint, like I said, is researching the company you want to work for, and then seeing what skills is required. So you should already have an idea of what skills you need for the resume. And you can include both soft or hard skills. Soft skills being like qualities, right? Problem solving, critical thinking, collaborator, leadership, time management, so on. Now, what are hard skills? Hard skills are more technical skills, specific things about technologies, softwares, programs, so on, right? AutoCAD, Linux, C++, Python, MySQL, CAD. All these things are hard skills, which is things that you can apply at the job. And then the soft skills is things you need in order to be able to work on the team, right? So a good resume, first of all, is self-promotional. It's like your ad. It's your selling point. You're promoting yourself. Represents your strengths. And once again, if you want to sell something, it better be a good product. And finally, gets you invited to an interview. Now, a good resume won't necessarily get you the job, but will get you to the first step, which is getting the interview. Then we explain what happens during interviews and so on at later events. But a good resume is also unique. You don't want it to be like everyone else's resume, right? If investors are not going to invest in something that everyone else has, you don't really want to buy something that everyone else has. It's too common. It's not special. Like I said, it markets you and your skills and qualifications. It highlights what you've done, your accomplishments, and it also showcases your talents, right? And also emphasizes MSA, which is made, saved, achieved. What you made, what you saved, and what you achieved, right? So keep that in mind. MSA stands for those three things. And a pro tip in every resume objective, as I mentioned, for engineering's position, address the company name and indicate the position you're targeting. So if you want to work at Google as a software engineer, under your objective, mention how you're looking for a Google internship for a software engineer position, right? This will save so much time, and when the recruiters see it, they will know who to contact and link you up with, so you can expedite the process, right? Let's go a little bit into MSA. In order to achieve MSAs, you must use powerful action words, as I mentioned. Analyze, develop, execute it, initiate it, right? And then follow up with some hard numbers. So instead of saying improve customer satisfaction, use improve customer satisfaction 22% to the highest level since 2018. It's the same thing, but that just sounds way more better, way better, and it's just better, right? And finally, keep keywords up to date. Use specific like industry buzzwords, right? For example, I know for like software engineers, I say software a lot because I'm related to it. But yeah, for software engineers, there's really of outdated terms and outdated techniques that no one really uses. But also be aware of division specific acronyms. An acronym in one place might mean an acronym of something else in a different place. So be aware of this and make sure you don't get it confused because it will confuse the recruiter. And if they're confused, they just go to the next one, right? A good example of MSA will be increase our annual revenue for the account from 10 million to 15 million in the first year. Once again, use the numbers. It shows them that it was 5 million. Lead the design for a new energy monitoring device, which enable customers to reduce their energy consumption by 25% annually. Once again, numbers. They want to see numbers. And finally, revamp the standard operating procedure at the account, reducing downtime on critical equipment from 40 hours to 3 hours per month. So yeah, numbers. They can see, they can visually see and calculate how good you were at that you achieve crazy numbers, right? It just shows a lot more. What you don't want to do is things like collected and analyze data to make process improvements. Okay, what process improvements? How much were these process improvements? You know, it just leaves so many questions behind. So more tips for good and powerful resumes is keep your resume current. If recruiters see like a big gap, like let's say your last job was 2018, then they're gonna ask, what were you doing this past 4 years, right? So make sure you're up to date. Make sure you're always doing things. It can be a job, personal project, you know, anything. So you don't try to have gaps in your resume. Emphasize accomplishments related to the job of interest. You know, that way they know what you're looking for and they know whether you're good at what you're looking for. Like I said, do not leave gaps. You should also provide details so that they can understand your responsibilities. That way they know exactly what you're good at and what you went through. You don't need to indicate availability. I know some people put like, oh, I'm free from June to August. You don't really need that. Recruiters have a pretty good sense of when school ends and starts. And that's something you talk about with them later on. Do not include personal information, right? That I mean by that like your address. I used to have my address, but then I took it off. Don't have that. Your phone number, you must have that. Email, you must have that. You know, these are ways they can reach out to you. But it's okay to include leadership roles outside of work, right? So let's say you did community service, that's okay. Let's say you did like a boot camp or you were a leader of a boot camp, that's good. That's good. It shows them. You should also include honors and professional affiliations. So I guess what I mean by that is like Dean's List. You can put this under your educational section that you were Dean's List. You can put any achievements that made you like outstand from I guess the average person. That's good to put. Also keep it one page. I only seen resumes longer than one page for like graduate students. Everyone keeps it one page. If it's 2 pages, that means you have too many stuff for them to look at. But if it's less than one page, like half a page, then it's too little. And finally, keep it easy to read and check spelling. I've seen people get called out for spelling mistakes, and they just shut them off right there. If you have spelling mistakes, it shows you're lazy, and that you didn't care enough to revise your resume. Therefore, you're not going to care enough for the job you're applying to. That's what they see when they see spelling mistakes. So double check it, triple check it. All right. Here are some blunders that you can make in your resume. As I said before, try to sell your qualifications, but not as much. So it's a balance between selling and telling. If you exaggerate them, they will know you're capping, they will know you're lying, and not hire you. Make sure your phone number is correct. It happened before, I think, with one of my friends. He put the wrong phone number, and then he realized after a recruiter called him out on it. So, he definitely didn't get that job. Uh, don't make your resume sound like a job description, right? You want the job. You're not describing the job. Have your objective fit the position you're looking for, right? So don't go up to them saying, "Oh, I want a back-end developer role," but your objective says front-end developer, right? Once again, punctuation is good. And do not put any hobbies or personal information whatsoever. Recruiters don't care that you play volleyball, that you play basketball, right? If it's not related to the job, they don't care. So don't put that on it. But it's okay to assume, you must understand that it's okay to assume that they will not understand specific company acronyms, as I mentioned before. So don't put any acronyms, spell everything out. If you were to put SHPE under your resume, you have to spell it out like Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, because not everyone knows SHPE. It's also okay to assume that readers will not know what you're capable of. So just because you're a mechanical engineer doesn't necessarily mean that you know CAD, right? So make sure you specify there. And finally, it's okay to assume that readers will not know your past accomplishments. Just because you're a junior, a mechanical engineer, doesn't necessarily mean that you did a coding class or that you done your math classes per se, right? Don't assume that they know all this stuff. So next step, uh, for those of you that don't have anything, like I said before, create your blueprint. It's back in the first slide. Next step is take the resume builder assessment. It's the first QR code that you see there. Then is write your resume, right? We have this QR code down here. So it's a PDF of the slides. So you can review the slides and make your resume accordingly, right? And finally, utilize your resources so they can check your resume. So there's NJT which you can make an appointment for, so they can go over your resume with you, tell you what you've done wrong, and help you fix it. There's also websites like Big Interview and SETI.com where you can upload your resume, and they will basically point out like obvious mistakes. And also you have us. You can reach out to us, send us your resume, and we'll like help you out with them, right? Uh, if Make sure you scan the last QR code because that's the PDF of these slides. And in these slides, there is the other two QR codes as well. And that's all, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Before you guys go, I'll take a few minutes and do some house cleaning. Juan, if you can pass me the share real quick. So once more, these slides are available to you, right? This recording will also be available to you as soon as it's processed. I'll upload it on YouTube, and then I'll go over some of our next events real quickly, and as well as I'll go over real briefly the steps to be a member. So, second. Okay, you guys should be able to see my screen. So if you head over to our website, at any given time, it's shep.njit.edu. I know it's a Google site here, but it just redirects you to there. The slides will be available as well. They should be up on the website soon enough. So if you head over to Club Resources, it will be up here. I'm pretty sure these slides are the same as what you've just seen, just that some of the material might be slightly different. Aside from that, so if you guys go to our calendar on the website, you guys will be able to see all of our events for the rest of the semester. If there are any events that we do plan sometime during the semester, it will be shown and updated here. So the next event we have coming up is the 28th, which is our LinkedIn workshop. As well as we have some other workshops like our elevator pitch, career fair prep, Posted to SHEP was a fundraising event, and our SHEP resume review. all getting ready for the career fair, which I think is it's either the 11th or 12th. I'm pretty sure it's the 11th because it should be during the school day. Aside from that let's talk about how to be a member real quick. So if you head over to our Instagram, and if not, I did put the links on our, don't mind my meme pages, but if you head over to our Instagram, I did put the links up as well, but it's also here on Instagram in the link tree. So it's this Chef membership sign up. This takes you to our sign up form. This way you can sign up to be an active member, or what's considered to be an active member. And then if you're interested in being a part of, in taking a leadership role and being one of the people who does a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, feel free to sign up to our Shadow Word interest form, which is right here. There's a link to our website here. And finally, if you want to join our Discord, feel free here to join through here. Just want to go over that real